Hi, welcome to Creative TV. Today we're going to get started with a full body retouch. Let's get to it.
Alright, and welcome to Creative TV. Today we're going to do another full body edit, starting here with the beautiful cachet. We always start in Lightroom. As you can see, we've worked on a few pictures already. This was an amazing shoot. Things came out real well. Just want to go over a few things with you guys. We can start here in Lightroom, but we're going to head on over to Photoshop. Alright, new pictures opened up. As always, you duplicate the layer first. You want to start removing blemishes, so we're going to use a spot healing brush. We're going to zoom into the face. You just want to remove all the little stuff. To take care under the eye area, you want to duplicate the layer once more. You want to come over here and grab the patch tool. And just start moving stuff in increments just to get rid of the dark circle up under it. Make it all blend in. Same with this one over here. This eye isn't as in focus, so it makes it even easier. You want to leave some lines under it so it can look a little more natural. Alright, same thing. So we're going to go over the blemishes a little bit. I'm going to leave some things to make sure that everything still looks as natural. There's a couple things right here. Even though it's out of focus, I can still see. Alright. So, we're going to take care of some stretch marks here. We're going to continue to use our patch tool. And basically what you want to do is you want to take the damaged area of the skin and you want to sample an area that isn't damaged. So, down in here we got some pretty good areas, and I want to start with the cleaner areas first. That way it gives me a larger sample area to pick from when I get to the more damaged areas. You just want to do the best you can with these areas, and then you'll finish the rest during frequency separation, which comes a little later. Alright, so we're just taking care of these last few little blemishes. And as you can see, the stretch marks are gone. There's still some problem areas. A lot of that will be taken care of with frequency separation. Take a before and after. Alleviate a lot of those problems. Still maintained a lot of the skin texture. Okay. Always go back and forth. Get as close to perfect as you can. Okay. Check the rest of it. Some of these easier little dark spots. Alright. Let's take a step back. Take a look at what we have here. She has this beautiful skin tone. So what we're going to do now is go into frequency separation. Frequency separations allows us to put the textures of this picture on one layer and put the colors on the second layer. So that way we can edit them separately. The way you're going to do that is you're going to duplicate this layer twice. Control J if you're on a PC, Command J if you're on a Mac. We're going to go ahead and start with this layer here. We can turn the top layer off. So turn off that top layer. Go here. You want to go to Filter, Blur, Gaussian Blur. Alright, and you want to take this just to about where you can almost not see the eyes. So I always range between 9 and 12. So if you take it up too far, you can see you start to lose everything. It's not really what you want to do. Alright, so we're going to end up about 11.4. Okay, that looks pretty good to me. And we're going to turn this top layer back on. We're going to go to Layer. We're going to go to Image, Apply Image. You're going to change this so that it goes off the layer we just blurred. So that's going to be the same as here. You want to change this to Subtract. Okay, you're going to go Scale of 2, Offset of 128. Those factors do not change. Okay, hit OK. Then you're going to come over here and label. This is going to be your low frequency. This is going to be your high frequency. You're going to take your high frequency layer and put it on linear light. Okay. Going to take both of them, place them into a group, and when you turn them off and on, there should be no change. That's how you know you've done it properly. Okay. Once you're done with that, I personally start with the low frequency. I want to smooth out these skin tones. We're going to go back up to our face. Okay. We're going to take the lasso tool. Depending on the type of camera the photos were taken with and the resolution of the image itself, this number will change. So mine is always between 5 and 10, but these pictures were taken on a Nikon D750, so it's a pretty high resolution. It's a very decent image quality. So we're going to just start with some of these areas. You're going to outline, don't go too close to the edge, and then you're going to go to Filter, and Gaussian blur is still here at the top, and you can see that the Control F is going to repeat the blur that you did previous, so that 11.4. The deal with that is you can do it more than once. So after I highlight the area, I'm going to hit Control F once, twice, 3 times. It all depends on the subject and the quality of the image, how many times you have to do that. You don't want any sharp edges there, so that's why you feather the brush a little bit, and you just keep making your selections. You can make them as big or smaller as you want. Get a good part of her skin here. nice and smooth. Okay, this part of our nose, smooth that out a little bit. This area is a very small area here. Always check your work. Just smoothing out that skin area. Take that just smooths out that skin area. Okay, I'm gonna do the same thing up here. Just smoothens out those tones. Because the hair is basically going to be on the texture layer, you're fine to go over it. I just, I try to avoid it. I go over it scarcely. See there? Smooth out that area. You're going to take our thigh here. I'm going to do this pretty much as a whole. All the way down here. Come back up. A lot of those problems that we were concerned about while we were editing just disappeared. Okay? You can turn that on and off to make sure you weren't too close to the edges, just to get an idea. Okay? Same thing down here. Even though this leg is completely out of focus, I still want those colors blended. Okay? Next thing we're going to do is work on some skin toning. As you can see, certain parts of our body are a little darker than other parts. We just want to make that all look even. The easiest way to do that is to remain on the low frequency layer. You're going to grab a brush here, and you're going to sample from a lighter part. Okay, you're going to make sure your brush opacity is low and your flow is low, because it's okay for it to be a little different. You don't need it perfect, but just to lighten it up a little bit. Just change those skin tones just a bit. And don't forget, you can sample as many times as you want. So we're going to sample over here, and then we're going to come down here. And because those layers are separate, we're not hurting anything. Okay? Any discoloration I may find here, I can sample that and just bam. Alright, after we're done with all that, the next thing we're going to do is work on our dodge and burning. What dodging and burning does is it highlights the things that should be highlighted, and it adds a bit of contrast to the areas that need to be a little darker. The way we're going to do that is by making 2 curves adjustments layers. Okay, so you're going to come down here to adjustment layers, go to curves. You're going to take this up a little bit. It varies with every picture. You can play with it a little bit, see which areas lighten up and which areas don't. I usually go right about in here. Okay, and then you want to make sure you take this up to the top outside of that group. Okay, then you're going to invert that layer, which is Control I on a PC, Command I on a Mac, and then you're going to rename that dot. Alright, and to make your burn layer, you're going to go back to your curves adjustment, make another one. This time you're going to come down, and like I said, you can play with it. You still want to see her, but you want to get those dark areas dark. Then you're going to hit Control I again, or Command I on a Mac. Okay, that's going to invert that, and you're going to name this one Burn. Okay, put that in a group. Alright, so we can go ahead and name this frequency separation, or for shorthand, preset. And we can name this one D and B. So dodge and burn. Okay. Now, the way a curves adjustment layer with a layer mask on it works, you're going to take your paintbrush here, check your opacity. There's a couple different ways to do this. Some people leave their opacity all the way to 100, then they take their flow down to 5 or 3. I like to leave my flow right around 35 to 45. So I'm right there in the middle. And then I'm going to take this down to about 11, 12. We're going to leave it right there at 13. Alright. First thing I'm going to do is go up to her face and highlight that cheekbone. Okay. A lot of my clients say they need that highlight popping, so that's what we're going to do here. Just give it a couple strokes there, okay? Highlight that cheekbone, forehead illuminated. And all we're doing is brushing with the brush, okay? Okay. I'm going to go in a little bit. She has these great brown eyes. I'm going to highlight them a little bit so they can stand out. There's a catch light here. Slight one there. Okay. You're basically just going over all of the highlights that are already in existence. Okay. And then I always take a larger burn brush, switched over to the burn layer. I'm just going to highlight the outline of the face a little bit. Let's see where we're at. It brings the focus in. Alright, her eyebrows, we're going to fill them in a bit. Right now we're on the burn layer. We're just going to come in and go over those. Okay, you can even go in and do the lashes a little bit with a smaller brush just to make them stand out a little bit. Okay. There you go. Okay, next thing we're going to do is work on the hair. So we're going to go back to the Dodge brush. For the hair, because we're going to be doing those highlights, we can take this up to 25. Now, there's a couple different ways to do it. Okay, I'm going to show you both ways real quick. You can go with a larger brush and just highlight those areas. Okay, just like that. Alright, the second way to do this is going to be with a smaller brush. You turn it down a little bit more, go back to our 13, and then you just highlight it with strokes. Okay. Because hair is strands, right? So these little strokes here definitely give it a little bit more of a detailed look than with the larger brush. And you gotta make sure you're going with the stroke of the hair. So if it looks curved, hit it with a curve. Okay? Make sure you fill it in real nice. Never hesitate to check your work. Keep it going. Zoom out. See how the hair pops just a little bit more? Bang. Bring your face to the focus. The hair out. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and start highlighting the parts of our body. We're going to stay on the Dodge layer. And we're just going to be subtle with it. follow the natural lighting of our body. Our abs are popping, so help those. Okay. Then right here on this thigh, we're just going to highlight that thigh. Okay. You can even highlight some of these areas of her nightgown. Make them stand out a little bit more. Okay. Check your work. See what we're looking at. Go here. And go smaller. One last stroke. Two last stroke. Okay. Then you're going to take the burn level and you're going to outline some of that just to add a little bit more contour to it. Okay. Okay. By dodging and burning, you add depth to the image. Fill those shallows in. All this stuff we do to edit these pictures and dodge and burn is phenomenal in the way it makes your pictures look. Brings I'm actually pretty satisfied with this. Just double checking. Okay. Not sure what that discoloration is. So we're going to go back in here. I'm just going to highlight. We're using the patch tool on the color layer. We're just bringing that in. I don't know whether it was a scuff or what, but we're going to fix it real quick. Okay. Gorgeous. From beautiful to beyond beauty. Okay. Then we're going to head right on back over to Lightroom. So you're going to save that. Alright, after you're saved up, I want to go ahead and see what a before and after looks like. So you want to do what's called a stamp visible layer, which takes all the layers that are currently visible and put them on one layer. Instead of, merging all the layers together or flattening the image, you can take all of that together, put it on a separate layer so that you can turn it on and off. You want to hit Control, Alt, Shift, E. E is an elephant, okay? Now, it made it look funny, but that's because it's mixed in with all that other stuff. You want to take it right to the top. That's, once again, that's Control, Alt, Shift, and the letter E, or Command, Alt, Shift, and the letter E on a Mac, okay? Now, if you hit Alt and click the eye, it'll only leave that one on. So then you want to go all the way back to the background, which is your original. You can turn it on and off. Gorgeous. We evened out the skin tones. Highlighted everything that needed to be highlighted. Use that burn technique to go ahead and darken some of that stuff and bring out more contrast. Alright. Now we're going to head back over to Lightroom. Because we work with them both together, it's already updated in our catalog. And you can go back and forth over here as well. Okay. Now what we're going to do here is see if there's anything we can do to enhance the photo. Okay. Make some of the blacks a little darker so they take some of the gray out. So always want to try to start with a little bit of exposure. Contrast you kind of got to play with just to see where you're at. Okay. Alright. Just playing with it. Bringing some of those blacks down. Now clarity is a funny thing. If you take it all the way over, it looks kind of like HDR. If you take it all the way down, it looks like everything doesn't know what it wants to do. Things are glowing and no one likes that. So I always add a little bit of clarity, anywhere from 5 to 10. So let's go and find 7. But right there. Okay, vibrance. I'm going to take that melanin and make it pop a little much. If you go too much, things get out of whack. So we're going to fall right at about 12. Alright. You can see where you're at. That's where you came from. Made everything pop a little bit more. Those colors there. Okay. I love it. This photo is so dope. Alright, after that, you go ahead and export the image out. Alright, it's already there. It's going to go into an edited folder. And there you have it. Full body retouch with Creative Cage TV. I'm Jordan Cage. Thanks for tuning in.